The first AI war? That's what some people are starting to call it. And today, we're going to dive into the secret AI weapons that the US and Israel are reportedly using against Iran. This is a whole new kind of conflict.
You know, when you think of artificial intelligence, you probably think of chatbots, right? Well, AI has moved on. It's no longer just powering those things. It may now be helping to fight actual wars. Yeah, this isn't science fiction anymore. AI has officially made the leap from our phones right onto the battlefield. And we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The new battlefield. Because what we're seeing right now is so much more than just another geopolitical flashpoint. It's actually becoming a proving ground, a testing site for a completely new era of warfare.
When you see the news, you see the jets, you see the warships. But behind all that, there's this quiet revolution happening. Artificial intelligence is being used to analyze incredible amounts of intelligence data, speeding up the targeting process and giving soldiers a massive tactical advantage. It's a key tool, even if a lot of it is kept secret.
And all that speed brings us to a really crucial military idea: accelerating the kill chain. We're about to see how AI is taking something that used to take weeks and squeezing it down into mere milliseconds. It is absolutely mind-boggling.
So you're probably asking, what the heck is a kill chain? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's the military step-by-step process for taking out a target from the second they find it to the moment it's, well, neutralized.
Now look at this process. Finding a target, figuring out if it matters, tracking it, picking a weapon. The key thing to get here is that traditionally, every single one of these steps was done by humans, and that took time. A lot of time. We're talking days, sometimes even weeks, to get all the intel and all the approvals. It was a really complex, slow-moving process.
And this is where things get wild. Look at this comparison. Human speed, days or weeks. AI speed, milliseconds. AI just obliterates that entire timeline. What used to take ages now happens in the time it takes a computer to think. And that incredible speed, that's the game changer. That's the advantage.
All right, so let's look at a real-world example of this in action. Israel has developed what is essentially a high-speed target-generating machine, and they've given it a name that's, well, pretty intense.
It's called Hapsora, which translates to the gospel. And what it is an AI platform designed to do one thing: sift through enormous, just unbelievable amounts of data, surveillance, communications, you name it, and recommend targets way, way faster than any human team possibly could. And get this, according to reports, the gospel can generate more than 200 potential targets in just 10 to 12 days. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about being fast, it's about the sheer scale. It's a target factory, churning out options at a rate that was just unimaginable before.
But all this new technology brings with it a whole new kind of problem, a new kind of confusion. Welcome to the fog of AI war. This is where the line between what's real and what's a simulation gets dangerously blurry, where you literally cannot believe your own eyes.
This quote from Melanie Smith really just hits the nail on the head. The volume of AI content is starting to just pollute the information environment to a really terrifying degree. And that's exactly what it is. It's pollution, a flood of fake stuff that makes it almost impossible for anyone to know what's actually going on.
Let me show you a perfect example. A clip goes viral online, racks up over 7 million views. It looks like totally real combat footage of a US ship shooting down an Iranian jet. It was so convincing, even public officials shared it.
So where'd it come from? A military simulation video game called War Thunder. It wasn't real at all. And get this, the ship and the plane in the video, they were from World War II, a total historical mismatch that almost everyone completely missed. That's how easy it is to get fooled.
So how can you spot this kind of fake footage? Well, here are a few things to watch out for. Is the video super low resolution or blurry? Do they use a shaky camera effect? A lot of them take place at night to hide the lack of detail. Listen for the sound. Is there any? Is it generic? And look for people. You often won't see anyone moving realistically. Sometimes you can even spot video game elements, like a heads-up display, or notice the explosions just don't look quite right.
And look, this isn't just about random people online trying to get a video to go viral. We're talking about state-sponsored campaigns. Both Iran and Russia have been caught running these operations, using AI-generated misinformation to try and control the story and shape the narrative in their favor.
all of this, it leads to what might be the biggest, most unsettling question in this new era. We're talking about removing the human from the decision-making process. The ghost in the machine is starting to look like it's the one in charge.
And just listen to this quote from cybersecurity expert Paul Powers. He says, quote, "It will eventually become that humans are not only not needed in the loop, but they're not actually wanted." That's pretty chilling, right? The idea that we're heading to a point where a human slowing things down is seen as a weakness, not a safeguard.
And believe me, this is not just some academic debate. A top AI firm called Anthropic was working with the Pentagon, and they put their foot down. They insisted that a human must always, always review a decision to kill. The Pentagon's response? They basically started the process of switching to a different AI company, OpenAI. That tells you pretty much everything you need to know.
So that brings us to the central ethical problem here. If an automated system makes a fatal mistake, who's responsible? I mean, who do you blame? The programmer who wrote the code, the commander who deployed it, the machine itself? Right now, there are no clear answers, and that's what has a lot of people really worried. So let's pull back and look at the big picture for a second. The rise of AI in warfare isn't just about changing tactics. It is fundamentally reshaping the global balance of power. This is about the next world war.
And what's so fascinating is how AI cuts both ways. On the one hand, yeah, it gives large militaries like the US an even bigger advantage with super advanced weapons. But on the other hand, it can also level the playing field. A smaller nation could, in theory, use a huge fleet of autonomous drones or AI-driven logistics to suddenly punch way above its weight.
And here's the big takeaway for you, for all of us. This new kind of war isn't just happening on some faraway battlefield. Your social media feed is now an extension of that battlefield. As these countries fight to control the narrative, your attention, what you choose to believe and share, has become part of the battle space.
Which leaves us with one final and pretty heavy question to think about. We're standing on the edge of creating technology that can make life or death decisions faster than any human can even comprehend. So if we hand over that ultimate authority to a machine, what does that actually mean for the future of humanity?